modified and being used by people. Uh, the goddess is installed there. Now, this is an interesting observation we came across, that all these water bodies were preserved by local people, and they are being worshipped as tirthas, or as a sacred springs. So when we went back to the textual tradition, there is a Mahatmya called Virul Mahatmya or Shivalaya Mahatmya. So it is originally part of Skanda Puran, Sahyadri Khanda, and then there are some Marathi versions which are inspired from the original Sanskrit text, which we have found in this particular area, especially area in and around Aurangabad and Ellora region. We could find 5 manuscripts of those. So when we studied those, we realized that these are the water bodies which are being assigned the sanctity in the process of sanctification of the process, or in the process of evolution of the sacred geography, and because of which all these water bodies are being preserved. So they are ultimately get connected to the most sacred shrine down there near cave called Krishneshwar Jyotirlinga. So there is a close connection which is established by this intangible cultural heritage, and because of which all these water bodies are even today are preserved and are being used and worshipped by people. So I think what we understood this, like in this particular case study, is assigning sanctity and creating a tirtha around the water bodies is one of the ways our ancestors probably used to preserve these water bodies, and so the intangible cultural heritage which is woven around this tangible material to preserve this and to hand it over to the next generation. Again, this is Pital Khora, and these are the caves which you see, and this is the water stream. So during rainy season, it becomes really difficult to cross this water body. So again, we saw the similar pattern of post holes, and there was an attempt to make a small temporary bund, which probably was used after rainy season to store the water. So this small part probably was converted into a small reservoir in the post rainy season. So again, as I said, we are in the process of making the visuals based on this data. Now I come to actual. Okay, so this is again from Pital Khora, and this is a famous example, so I will not go into it. So this is a published work which I can discuss in the here in detail. So please, next slide. So there are inscriptions which, so Kaneri is located in Mumbai, and there are more than 100 inscriptions which we have from the site. There are 129 caves at the site, and these caves are spread over 3 hills, and there are 3 levels of the cave, like those are spread in 3 levels. So what we see is inscriptions, there are various references to the architectural elements which are created for storing the water. So we have just made a table to compile the data. So this is a tabular presentation of the data. So there are total 21 inscriptions which actually talk about the architectural element which are made by, created by the settlers there to store water. So each one of the by these type of water systems, like elongated one, and these are very shallow to store the water. So these are not not more than 3 feet or something deep. So these are very shallow ones, and there are inscriptions of the donors. So we know that these are donated by one of the traders from Kalyan, which is okay. So these are donated by that we know. Next. So this is the water system I was talking about, protected by the Nagaraja, and that is the main Chaitya. So what, like there are such water systems which we see at, as I showed at Pitalkhora. Then there is one at Mahakali Caves, that is Kondivati Caves. But this is a very elaborate one at Kaniri. Next. So rainwater is collected from such channels and then diverted to the cisterns, and cisterns are excavated in the side walls kind of thing, in the courtyard of the caves. Next. Okay. So this is the side of Kaneri. You can actually see some of the excavations, some of the caves. And then on the top of this, you have these 2 smaller tanks. I hope this is visible. And then 4 larger water bodies. Initially, we thought that those 4 larger tanks are also part of the early, like 2nd century AD water systems. But when we studied this area, we realized that there are some remains of a small fortified structure which is made of stone. And we requested our geology department to make the analysis of the stone. So they came to the conclusion that this stone is excavated from this area. And there is a text called Bimbakyan or Maikavatechi Bakhar, which tells us that this small structure on the top of Kaneri, which was made in 12th century AD. So the occupants at the site have been modifying the water management system, and this is the tangible evidence. So it is assumed that obviously if people are staying there, they will modify, but this is the tangible evidence which is coming after 1000 years. So we know that the site was under occupation for 1000 years from 2nd century AD onwards, and the water management system has been modified again and again. Next. Okay. Okay, so this is an inscription coming from 2nd century AD. Dr. Shobana Gokhale has published it, and it is all about the Tadaka, the reservoir which is created in 2nd century AD at Kaneri by a Sethi called Punaka. So this Punaka is probably that what Dr. Shobana Gokhale wrote is he probably belonged to Sopara, and there is a reference in Buddhist literature of Bodhisattva Purna who stayed at, like, belonged to Sopara. So what I personally feel is he might not have to stay like at Sopara, but he is Punaka. So probably the believer in the tradition of Bodhisattva, like the follower of Bodhisattva Purna and not the Purna one or kind of thing. So as he is referred as Purnaka. So there is Ka added to his name. Now he has given the donation of this water reservoir. Can you please move? So obviously this is a dry masonry kind of work, but these 2 stone walls have rubble filled in the so this one wall is made of 2 stone outer walls, and there is a filling in the in between which you actually see. Next. So they work in this way. So there is a small conduit excavated in the bedrock. So the first wall is little higher than the second wall, and this stone also we have found to place it in the conduits to stop the water. So there are remains of a bridge where the metal bridge is now constructed by Archaeological Survey of India. There was a series of post holes which was made to create the bridge, and there is enough care was taken. There was care taken by the settlers over there that this reservoir should not overflow into the site. So what they did next. So this is map, ASA map on which we try to show the entire. So this is first wall, this is second wall, and we have a bridge here. So most of the lower level caves are along this water stream. Next. So this is the actual size of the reservoir. How do we know that? Because our geography department with the Sanjay Gandhi National Park, they have surveyed the region, and like we have the Survey of India conducted excavation, and a lot of iron slag has been found from this particular cave, and it was believed that some iron smelting activity in the early medieval period was conducted over here for longer time, like over the period of time. And probably, so we have just here, we have a wooden, like a provision to place a wooden plaque and to create a temporary bund. So probably this iron smelting activity and this water body, which is temporarily created, they have some connection with each other. What actually we do not know, at least till the date. It needs more work. Next, please. So these kind of you can say small provisions which you can see to place the wooden plaques in this river. A small stream to stop the water, and then there are small benches which are carved next to it to fetch the water. Next. So what I'm trying to say here is with the whatever technology our ancestors knew, they have made use excellently, like in a better way, by understanding the contours, the natural resources. They have managed everything in their capacity. So when there is another study which we wish to take up, and now we have applied to the Archaeological Survey of India, that the walls which we have constructed there, they have iron nails with those iron nails. Those are of 2nd century AD, as we know that those walls are of 2nd century AD. We will be in a better position to understand the hardness of material, the metal which is used also for excavation of the caves. So that will help us to understand actual how much human hours, human labor was involved in excavating a cave. Because hardness of the rock is known. If we know the hardness of the metal of which the chisels were made, that also would help. The another objective which we are looking at right now, we are working on is we are calculating the actual water stored at the site. So like we have worked at Kanheri, but we are also working at other sites. We are calculating the actual water storage at this site. It can give us some idea of the number of occupants at the site in a particular year, because we today know that how much water is required for one person throughout the year. I'm not saying that same proportion was probably there, like the use of water was done 2000 years back or 1500 years back. But at least we have some estimate in our hand, so we can reconstruct this entire figure of temporary, like the occupants at the site. What Kanheri suggests us from our study of the total storage is there must be around 500 to 600 people probably throughout the year have lived at the site of Kanheri. And like these were probably the station people, and some of them might be the temporary migrants or kind of thing. So the project is still on. I don't know when. Like probably we might take 2 to 3 more years to conclude our work, because this is, again I tell that this is under IKS. Our autonomous college has taken up this project, and our undergraduate students are working on it. So every year students go on changing. So we need to train them every year. So this might take longer time to conclude, but these are the observations we came up with. Thank you.
I want to clarify. You stored care number 34.
25. 30, 25. 25.
No, care number 34 you told on photo.
Okay.
On slanting cut, you told water is flowing down and stored to the this one. So
Yeah.
here, that the cut or crack, it's a natural crack.
No, they have excavated.
Man-made cut.
Man-made.
Man-made cut means
Yes.
then what type of tool was used?
Chisels.
Chisel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Metal chisel, like iron chisels.
Okay. So actually you are telling about that also. You find some iron nails. Iron nails.
Nails, yeah.
Nails.
Yeah.
Nails, and then you compare with chisel.
Sorry.
Chisel.
Yeah, probably
Because
chisels are made of same
whether
material.
whether the hardness of stone or hardness of the nail or chisel, you are discovering, no?
Yeah, we have applied for sampling, but this is a protected site, so we cannot just go and collect samples.
No.
So we have
Whether the nails are there in form of chisel.
no,
So you didn't find any chisel there,
no,
only nails.
yes,
So you are trying to interpret if this hardness of iron could be more than that of that stone, then it could have been used as a chisel.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Like radioactive dating, anything can be done to find out the exact age in terms of the chisels or the nails or
This
how
is
old
not an
it is.
organic material, so
Okay.
we cannot.
Then it's the radioactive. Yeah.
Then you are using some technical words. Chisel, conduce, closer.
Yeah.
Actually, was there any system type mechanism operating there? Conduce also you told, conduce, right?
Yeah, that I showed the diagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So, any particular inscription based on which you are coming to this conclusion? Were you able to find any inscriptions stating the existence of the things which are used at that point of time?
No, but this, we know that there is an inscription which talks about the creation of these walls and converting that depression into a tarangi. That is the reservoir. So the entire system associated with has to be of that particular period is the assumption.
I just wanted to throw some light to your area, which is related to water body management, because everything should have happened through an administrative. I'm sorry. It should have happened through an administrative setup in the sense concerned. Either it might be in a kingdom type of a setup, or it might be in a village administration type of a setup. How the funds are primarily allocated, who took care of the water bodies, and how the planning in terms of water bodies were laid out. You said about some 500 to 600 people might have lived during that period of time to take care of the water storage necessities and all. Do you have, you are able to find out how this exact thing happened? Any roadmap were there primarily, or who are primarily responsible for these things?
Thank you for this question. There is no inscription or no data which we have coming from the archaeological sources which throws light on it. This
the
is
reason
the
why research sorry to interrupt, because then it might be interlinked with the archaeology and history together.
yeah.
Because my understanding is the Maurya Empire and other things came in the 3rd century AD. Chandragupta part. This 2nd century AD which you are primarily, we primarily want to know the particular area ruled by a particular kingdom, because any matter of taking the water bodies, which is the primary source of then apart from the general village administration is concerned. So how these things were interlinked?
Yeah, so this is a monastic site. So this is a Buddhist monastery. So there was.
There might be a religious administration coming in the future also.
Sorry?
There might be a religious administration.
Yeah, I'm coming to it. So there is no archaeological evidence actually talks about it. There is only one inscription from Nasik where there is a reference to the Shreni of Udayantrikas. So Udayantrika probably people involved in making some kinds of like developing some technology kind of thing related to water, fetching water or storing water. We actually do not know, sir is the right person to throw light on it. But this administration is not mentioned anywhere. But interestingly enough, in Vinay Pitaka, there is a section, the entire section, which deals with Shayanasana Khandaka. Shayanasana Khandaka is basically, just let me complete this. Yeah. Shayanasana Khandaka deals with the entire, functioning of the vihara. So we get some insights how this entire site was being managed. So there used to be various committees made of monks, and monks used to function the entire, look after the entire functioning of the monastery, but the actual execution was done by the representatives of the people who have volunteered themselves in the entire functioning.
Any manuscripts there?
No, that's what I'm saying, like this is Vinay Pitaka.
Okay.
And the contemporary monasteries also follow the same system across the.
Sorry for
Thank you.
the disturbance.
I'm sorry.
Whatever interaction we can do it in Sir.
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Alok Tripathi, sir, Additional Director General, ASI, to honor Dr. Suraj Pandit. We shall now take a small break for refreshment. Participants are requested to return to the venue in 5 minutes for the commencement of the next sessions. Participants are also requested to stick to their time limit. Thank you.
white color towel, which is the red and green color border with the around that. Next slide, please. And these are not the weaver house, but this house is related to the weaver's work before the processing of the weaving. The first one is bring the raw materials from the other state and processing for the winding the thread and removing the dirts and everything. And next one is coloring the thread, which means dyeing. And next one is attaching the thread with the looms for particular designs and everything. The next one is processing for the spin the thread, and next one is jari processing, which is used for the saris pallu and then border. Next slide, please. And this is the deguming in the processing of the early morning of the street, because they need a ventilation for that, and then it will be done in the every morning or 6 to 8 or evening 4 to 6. And then the house roof is fixed with the glass because of the above the loom, because of the ventilation. And then the weaving loom is always fixed with the hall near the courtyard. So they need the more ventilation for the up to in summer time they don't lit the light for up to evening 6 o'clock because up to their bright ventilation they have. So that is why they didn't switch on the light. So next slide, please. And these are the traditional motifs from the weavers from the ancient time. And then yali, horse, elephant, annam, and irthalai pakshi, and then rudraksham, talambu and rudraksham, and tilakam, and peacock eye, and nare modam, everything. Most of the design I didn't put it. So next slide, please. In conclusion, in early time, these designs are drawn from the graph papers. Nowadays they're using with the help of the computer. And then the advent of the online platform has brought the Kanchipuram silk sarees to global audience, and we can buy not only Kanchipuram silk saree, we can buy the other state silk sarees also and other things. And then the growth of industries and urban center has shifted focus from the traditional craftsmanship to mass produce the goods and marginalizing the traditional artisan and craftsmanship. The insufficient government support, lack of access to credit, and inadequate market expose have helped to grow the industries of traditional occupations. Hence, the traditional weaving occupation still stands, weathering the revenge of the time. Their only argument for their wages only. So, but they still continue the work. Thank you. Lighting purpose. Yeah.
But you say it is covered with glass.
Yeah, the roof is fixed, covered with the cup tiles and with the
How will you
glass.
get glass?
From the courtyard. So open courtyard.
Then what is ventilation?
So air and light is the ventilation.
What I request is, when you use any word, kindly understand the meaning. Okay? Because I don't want, I can ask 10 questions, but fundamentally, we should not use the wrong word. See, drilling was not there, but another calculator was doing drilling. Then it doesn't know the difference between electrical and electronic. Then what I can do? Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I request Dr. Alok Tripathi, sir, Additional Director General, ASI, to honor Dr. J. Sumati, ma'am. The last speaker of the day is Mr. K.V. Ramakrishna Rao, sir. K.V. Ramakrishna Rao, sir, graduated from Madras University in 1979 in physics, then proceeded to his multifarious activities by acquiring degrees in psychology, electronics, and telecommunications, and law. Starting with writing letters to editor, he turned his attention towards research in 1987. He has edited 2 books and published 2. In 2000, he was invited by the Iranian National Commission for the United Nations to present a paper, Decoding and Decipherment of Omar Khayyam's Rubaiyat, to commemorate the 900th death anniversary of Hakim Omar Khayyam at Neishaburi, Iran. He has been a life member of IHC, SIHC, TNHC, APHC, THC, AIOC, etc. He has been a visiting faculty to National Academy of Customs, Excise and Narcotics, Chennai. He worked in 2 industries and joined the Central Excise Department in 1980. He worked as an Assistant Commissioner of Customs and Central Excise and retired as an Assistant Director Systems in 2018. I now request Sir to take over the session.
My paper is about, no, I want to sit, that is, I'll be here, it is convenient. Huh? No, here. Because mic is there, no?
Which PPT?
I think this one. Sorry for... So my paper is about revitalization. No, sorry. Again, 2 papers. Because only one is, I think one paper is listed here. So reverse engineering and salvage archaeology applied to understand the science and technological expertise used for the building of rocket architecture. So actually, our Santi Babu madam and her group, they have talked much about the working with the stone, even 3D modeling, etc. So I'm very thankful to you, so that I can come to the subject straight away. So here I've gone into the technical aspect of the subject. Is it coming? Yes. So first, we have to understand what is that reverse engineering. In recent times, that reverse engineering, or otherwise known as salvage archaeology, it is nothing but to reenact how the ancient product could have been manufactured. So, that reverse engineering is talked about to understand how a product, goods or artifacts could have been manufactured. It is explained as reverse engineering, also known as backward engineering or back engineering, is a process or method through the application of which one attempts to understand through deductive reasoning how a device, process, system, just you go on, or I will do it because so that I can.
Do it, sir.
No, I can follow. No, that is the. I don't require to read this. So coming to the chronology aspect, because here already Santi Babu madam has told it's a very complicated and so many theories are there, hypotheses there. We cannot tell exactly what happened, whether it is out of Africa, out of India, etc. So historians and archaeologists are controlled or restricted to their
imposed limitations. See, for example, if you ask our epigraphists, see, they say whatever written in that epigraphy, it is accepted as historical truth. But I was telling about Caravella. So Caravella knew so many aspects of science and technology that historians have to believe. But at the same time, Pulagesi inscription talks about the date of Mahabharata war. Exactly, it gives the date 3102 BCE. But I don't know whether historians will accept or not. So here, chronologically, throughout the world, they are given different dates wherever this rocket technology was involved. Here. So then that is why when it is entirely, slowly, that carving, scooping in, scooping out all processes were carried out, finally we got this structure. Then how pillars were made. So that is also, then again, some rough idea. So every stone, they know how to convert into pillars. That also I tried to explain that, say how to converting that squaring into circle and circling square. So these concepts are also involved. Here you can imagine that how that four side is converted into that infinite side. Then again zero, infinity, if these concepts are understood, then theologically, as per Agama Sastra, yes, otherwise I will stop immediately. Because that is infinity, no? If you want, I'm hurrying only actually. Otherwise, it is a waste to come here then. Why should I sit here for 2 days? So this is the other one, because I am giving the proof. See, whether this horizontal, whether the drilling machine was there, is there or not. Of course, this is wooden. But similarly, I argue, even stone could be rotated like this. See, when 1,000 years back this was existing, why not 2,000 years back? Only it is historians and archaeologists should answer. So then, these are the pillars. Even say in Hampi this is an example. So in fact, I've recreated that mechanism, how that vertical horizontal motion is converted into vertical motion. Only that top portion is there, but other things we have to develop, no? That because that revitalizing, that bridging history and the technology. So unless we think about this engineering technology, we cannot answer all these things. Of course, this is the recent yesterday findings. Our Chief Minister, they have released this. Of course, they used ASI photographs only. But now they claim that these are dated to 3500 BCE. Then coming to this Indus Valley civilization, there also we have evidence for the existence of iron. There is no time, so just that places, you know, where Michael Johnson, Kennewer and others. So that these places, iron exactly is available. Then this also historians and archaeologists should think about this, because it is told by Sir Isaac Newton, not by any ordinary person. So carefully, this let us see what he says. Sir Isaac Newton, in his work Chronology of the Ancient Kingdoms Amended, that book is available, anybody can download and read. I have given page number, etc. So he exposed the Greek 300 history before Herodotus. That is, they expanded the chronology, he says. He doubted the first 400 years, expanded chronology of the Greeks, and the 3,000 years that of the Egyptians. He placed the Trojan War in 1225 BCE instead of 904. He showed that the astronomical science did not begin before the era of Nebuchadnezzar in 747 BCE. He dismissed the reliability of history of Rome before they built their city. He asserted that it is unscholarly to try to reconstruct Chinese history for the period before 230 BC. So this is not told by any nationalist historian or anybody, but told by Sir Isaac Newton. It is left to historians or researchers or archaeologists to accept or reject it. So I conclude, so retrieval of the past knowledge is required. So just like Hampi mode, more models have to be recreated and constructed to work so that how the other structures could have been carved, manufactured and assembled could be understood. Through reverse engineering, many catalogs and models of the past can be recovered, remade and put into use. Once the traditional knowledge system is identified, re-established, its protection becomes crucial, where legislature has to be brought. So yesterday, one officer, retired officer, was talking about that registration of marks and other things. The traditional knowledge system could have been secret, sacred, or selective, or on the verge of disappearance. It has to be redeemed, retrieved, and made to survey for the posterity. During the reconstruction of dams, several temples were dismantled by part, displaced and taken to new spots where they were assembled to reconstruct the temple or the structure. Thus here, what are the tools? Machines and men were required, could be noted and recorded. In other words, the same type or similar men and material were required when those temples were constructed some 500,000 years ago. So finally, in the changing times, many factors of the past are forgotten slowly due to so many reasons. Even just past of 50, 100, 150 years are forgotten just like that. Children are not able to remember and tell the names of their grandfathers and grandmothers. Under such circumstances, revitalizing Indian knowledge system and bridging history and technology are discussed about. Definitely the issues and the programs behind have been very important and they have to be carried on. The academics of history and archaeology have to be integrated with the other subjects of science and engineering, or such subjects should be taught to the students of history and archaeology. The study of languages, Sanskrit, Tamil, Arabic, Persian and other regional languages are to be revived, giving importance as without which no original documents can be read, inscriptions read, understood and coins studied and so on. The history of science and technology of India can be focused on revitalizing Indian knowledge systems and bridging history and technology. So I will skip other portions and stop this. You can close this. So any questions, I am ready to face from our enlightened audience and students and others.
Question. Actually, true to the topic, the revitalizing Indian knowledge system, I think you have summed up all the papers, whatever dealt in so far 2 days. Thank you for the papers. I'm very sorry we couldn't give you enough time.
Anything I told?
No. You have covered. No, you have given everything. You have given everything. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I now request Dr. Rama Devi Shekhar ma'am, Director, Center of Excellence Art and Culture, to honor Ramakrishna Rao sir. I request Dalok Tripathi sir to join ma'am.
celebrate our lesser other than our ladies' day.
We now proceed to the valedictory ceremony. We have journeyed through an in-depth exploration of Indian knowledge systems where history and technology were bridged in the most innovative ways. The dialogues, the exchange of ideas, and the collaboration between various experts have all contributed to furthering our understanding of how Indian heritage and modern technology can coexist and complement each other. As we close this chapter, we take with us the lessons learned, and we hope that the discussions from this seminar will inspire further academic research, policy making, and practical applications for the future. I now request Mrs. Srividya Ma'am, Faculty Coordinator, Center of Excellence Art and Culture, to deliver the welcome address. I'm sorry, but I would like to invite all the dignitaries over to the stage. I now request Mrs. Srividya Ma'am, Faculty Coordinator, Center of Excellence Art and Culture, to deliver the welcome address.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Good evening and a heartfelt welcome to all esteemed guests, speakers, faculty members, scholars, students, and members of the media. It is both an honor and a delight to convene here for the valedictory session of the seminar, Revitalizing Indian Knowledge System, Bridging History and Technology. This seminar has proven the slogan, Preserve our past, celebrate our future. It's a pivotal initiative in enhancing our comprehension of how the wisdom of our heritage can be harmoniously blended with contemporary technological advancements, thereby rendering our profound legacy more accessible and pertinent to today's society. As we reach the conclusion of this enlightening event, we contemplate the significance of the Indian knowledge system, an invaluable reservoir of concepts, methodologies, and insights that have profoundly influenced our civilization over the ages. Across various disciplines, such as history, art, architecture, and philosophy, the Indian knowledge system has consistently served as a source of guidance, richly layered with elements that perpetually ignite creativity and intellectual exploration. Today, we are exceedingly fortunate to be accompanied by some of the most distinguished scholars in the domains of history, art, and technology. It's our privilege to extend our warm welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Nandita Krishna, an esteemed art historian and director of the CPR Ramasamy Iyer Institute, whose invaluable contributions to the study of Indian art and culture continue to inspire numerous individuals. Welcome, ma'am. We are honored to welcome Dr. Alok Tripathi, Additional Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India, whose remarkable expertise and commitment to preserving India's extensive archaeological heritage are truly unmatched. Welcome you, sir. I extend my warm welcome to all gathered here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request Dr. Ramadevi, ma'am, to honor the chief guest, Dr. Nandita Krishna, Director of C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer Foundation.
Work has brought us all together here for last 2 days. In the beginning, I would like to express my gratitudes to Shashan Jain College, which hosted this program on traditional, means Indian knowledge system. It's also a valedictory, so I would also be touching some of the issues which has been presented or discussed during these 2 days, and a few issues or things which I would like to share with students. I'm a professor working in Archaeological Survey of India, doing more administrative work than archaeology. But whenever I get a chance to back to the classroom or students or college or university, I try to utilize that opportunity. So today, when we assemble for any discussion on Indian knowledge system, it points to 2 things. Number one, somewhere we are feeling that we require to know about Indian knowledge system. There was something. So we have to revitalization or revitalize it. But at the same time, it also tells that this is something which we missed somewhere or we have forgotten about it. And we have to think that why it happened. This question, why, is very important. And unfortunately, our present education system, which is given by British, somewhere killed this why. As a teacher, I say it very clearly. A small children, means if you see them, they are very curious. They ask many questions. And even when we started this program, it was said students should keep silence. This is suicidal for knowledge system. The day a child goes to school, first thing, instead of encouraging him to ask question, the teacher tells, silence in class. Only the teacher will speak and you will only listen. You will not question, you will not counter question. So his curiosity is killed. And he or she is told 2 into 2 is equal to 4. A student cannot ask why 2 into 2 cannot be 5 or cannot be 3. So we, right from the very beginning, make him a listener only. Don't use your brain. What your teacher is saying, you have to simply mug it up. And exactly that happens and continues even to the, it's not only in the school, up to the professors. We had some presentations and all that, particularly in history. Because history is something which is taught, there are few dates, there are few incidents, you have to just remember them and you have to eat them and vomit them. So don't digest them. And there are some very good students who are A-mark students, they will even quote the author and the page number and the name of the book or the article. So maybe D.D. Koshambi has said this, Majumdar has said, Sankalia has said this, Bibilal has said this. So if they have said, is the final word. Whereas I tell my student, it's a very simple thing, archaeology start with A and end on Y. There is no Z. There cannot be Z in archaeology. You always have a scope for something more. So there is always something more you can do. Whoever has said, whatever has been done, whatever analysis has been done, whatever scientific technology has been used, you always have a scope for something more, provided if you understand it and do it. But it's unfortunate that we have not been as scientific as we should have been. What I am going to talk is not a very structured thing because I'm an underwater archaeologist. So we always float on the waves. And we also move with the currents. So we never go straight as people walk on the streets or on the road. So you will experience the same thing when I speak. So when we talk about Bharatiya Gyan Parampara, we talk principally about the Gyan, which is the supreme in our system. And in Indian system, Ved is the supreme, and Ved means Gyan, nothing. So Ved is the Gyan only, and we put them on the top. So for us, Gyan is most important thing. It's not only the Gyan only we talk about or we do. There is also Vigyan, there is also Tantra, and there is also Kala. So these are the 4 things which one is supposed to know and learn. And we talk about Parampara. Now with our education, it has been branded as something bad. Anything which is traditional, this person is traditional, this person is scientific. So it has become opposite to scientific. So if anything you do Paramparavadi, means you are pichhde hue, hai na? Not very knowledgeable, you are not scientific, so somewhere inferior. So this sense of inferiority, it was put by a very intelligent person. His name was Macaulay. I really appreciate him. Though he caused a great harm to our nation, our society, our culture, but undoubtedly he was an excellent person, very brilliant person. He knew how to rule on Indians. And in 1947, Union Jack has changed, but Macaulay is still sitting in our brains. And you find it very difficult to take him out. So it has something like he has gone in the bloods of the Indians. And still we feel that what they have taught us is somewhere supreme, something superior. For example, when we even have a food, so if you use your fingers, people will look like that if it is in a good hotel, 5-star hotel. And if you use a fork and a knife and a spoon, you are considered as educated. So a kind of feeling has been given to us, that if you do this kind of thing, you are backward. And if you do this kind of thing, you are advanced. And the classical example of this is division of history. Our history, I am not saying Tamil or Malayalam or Sanskrit or anything. The history of this land, which was the original history, has been said ancient history. The historian will be even arguing about that when I talk about this classification of the history. So that is called ancient. And when you read the meaning of ancient in dictionary, something which is old, which is not useful, that is called ancient. So, of bygone ages, old time, then you have a medieval, which is something related with barbarian and something. And then you have a modern, most relevant, advanced, useful. And when India became modern, the day we lost the war of Plassey, when the Nawab of Bengal lost, Europeans started ruling in India, India became modern. And with pride we say, modern India, or modern history. So modern history start when we become Ghulam, we became modern. So that is the definition what the British have told us. And we feel pride on that. We say, nobody will even think about that why we call it modern history, which start with the arrival of British. So when we accepted that this is modern, it is most relevant, and it is what we need. This is human psychology. Try at your home, take one old toy and one new and offer to any child. He will only pick up the new one. Even if somebody give you an old dress and a new one, you will prefer a new one. So we have been told that what was British, whatever came with them, that is modern. So definitely everybody will go with the modern. So, and whatever was our original, it is something which is useless, purana. Ab iski zarurat nahi hai, no more relevant. So our languages, that's the reason that nowadays we have been totally cut off from our all treasures what we have. And the British were very clever. Why I'm saying these things, even our archaeologists also don't study the reasons that what British were doing, what was the purpose of that. What they have done, we all know. But why they have done, we have never studied that. And you know, archaeology, a subject which is now reconstructing history, was not started to reconstruct the history of this nation. It was to understand the Indian society so that they can be ruled in a better way. Alexander Cunningham's letters clearly mention that he started archaeology to some way have to spread the Christianity and convert Indians, both Hindus and Muslims, to Christianity. Because they tried that Hindus and Muslims, both of India, are very strong and it is not possible to convert them or motivate them for anything because they have a deep faith in their culture. So he used the route of archaeology, how Buddhism grew and then it spread all over. Because the first 5 Pandits of Banaras was the Buddhist, they were converted to that. So this was the line, very intelligently he took it, and he writes to then his boss that so he want to have a project. And then he explored the Buddhist route. And in this process, whatever sites he has discovered, now they are a treasure house for us. They are definitely our heritage, and we have pride in maintaining them. But whenever anything is happening, you have to see that why it is being done. What was the purpose? Because it is the purpose which makes an act good or bad. If somebody attack on you and you kill him, you are killing him for your self-defense. So you are not committing a crime. A soldier on the border kills 20 enemy soldiers, he gets a Ashok Chakra because he is killing 20 people. But if you have an animosity with someone, you murder him, you are prisoned. So it's not the act which is important. The motive is important. So we must find out the motive behind everything whenever we study, and that is what the Gyan is. Gyan is which makes you think, which liberates you, which take you from darkness to the light, Vidya. And that is called the third eye. Vidya is the third eye. Hai? So, we have to see that what we were doing. We have forgotten all our great scientists, astronomists, chemists, geologists, physicians. If you talk about Charak, kaun tha Charak? There may be some sites or some product people will relate to that. So, Baan Bhatt, Raja Bhoj, even a king who was a scholar. So we don't know about them. We don't read about them. We have not been taught about them. And they all have been branded. So anything, whatever done by Indians is poor. And even if you want to buy a camera, we will say, I should buy something which is imported. So even today we have that feeling that anything Indian is inferior. Anything outside, even if it comes from Taiwan, that is good, which is such a tiny country. So that has gone in our blood, in our mind, that anything Indian is bad or inferior. So this inferiority complex has brought us down. We were Vishwaguru. We have potential. No one can match Indians. Definitely you should have, means at least I have a full faith in that, whatever field it may be, but no person in the world can match an Indian. Whether it is in a physical work, whether it is a mental work, or whatever it is. If we have the opportunities, we can do the best. Only thing is that we have to understand that our strength. And somebody has to do that. And such seminars are doing. And that's very common. You know, when Hanuman reached on the shore and he saw such a big water body, he was thinking, what I'll do. Then he was told that how much power you have in you. That when you were a child, you had jumped and even, you know, caged the sun. And then when he realized, oh, I can do that. And then he did it. So these young girls and boys need to be told that you should have a pride that you are Indian. You are born in India. You shouldn't feel, oh, why I am not born in USA or in Europe. That is what generally happens. And if they feel, okay, anyway, I am born here, let me do 12th and BSc and then I'll go somewhere. So it's not. You are born in a country where even Devatas, you know, they also feel that they should have taken birth here. So we are blessed. We have a great past. Our ancestors has done what nobody on this earth could do. Only thing is that we should know that. We should know our paramparas. We should have, you know, pride on that. I feel, means the first day when I came and we removed the shoes, I really felt so happy. Because here everybody will say, chappal utar ke hall mein ja rahe ho, kaisa school hai? But that's why it is our parampara and we should follow it. And we should feel happy about that. So, if you go to a temple, you have to remove shirt and you have to go in dhoti. It's excellent. Why we feel, no, in the church anybody can walk with the shoes and sit there and can come out. So we have our traditions, and these traditions have developed after experience of thousands of years. So they are not, you know, dictated by someone in a day or two. So this has come with our experiences. So our houses, so our food, our clothes, everything what we have. And we have variety because we have different reasons, we have different climate, we have different languages. All these differences have brought, and that's why the Indian culture is so colorful and diverse. And now, because of the globalization, everything is one. One type of t-shirt, one type of jeans, wherever you go, one type of these concrete blocks. When you land in any city, you will find it's just like your city. So you don't feel even change. Chennai and Delhi and Bangalore and Kolkata, hardly any difference. And it is because the market-driven industries. We are being exploited for that. First, Europeans have exploited us. Now, this trade and the business, whatever is today, it is doing it. So it's the time that we go back to our roots, try to understand them, and then we have that confidence that we are, I don't say we should have superiority complex, but at least we should not have inferiority complex. Being an Indian, we should not feel inferior. We are not less than anyone. Another thing which just I want to mention is the generalization. Generalization is done in history to understand the things, but overgeneralization has become a very common practice in history and archaeology. so and so has said this thing or somebody has written this thing. But when you do history and archaeology, you have to do it in the Desh and Kal, time and space. So who had said and when he had said. If you read any history book before 1921, the history of India started with the invasion of Alexander. So that was good for that time because we were not having evidence or we were not having archaeological evidences for that. When Harappa was excavated, the history was pushed back to 2000 years. So now one cannot quote what was written in 18th century or 17th century and say so and so has written, so it cannot be changed. Everything can be changed. And then again, if something is happening somewhere, it's not that everywhere the same thing is happening. So in many presentation, what happens? You take something from there, something from here, and try to impose here, which doesn't happen. So at one place, date may be early. Same type of thing at other place, maybe later. When we are having all these advances in our big cities, if you go to some of the villages in Chhattisgarh or even in Jharkhand, they are still in more or less Mesolithic age. They are still living in huts, totally dependent on the jungle products. So their life is still, so you can't say that what I am doing, they are also would be doing exactly the same. And if you talk about the tribes in Andaman, they are still in Paleolithic age. No contact with the civilized world. So in different places in the same time, different cultures have survived. And even today they are surviving. So we cannot paint that at one place if it has happened, it is happening everywhere. So that is one thing which every history student should understand. And this is the biggest mistake we make when we draw the conclusion. If we have seen something somewhere and we totally without understanding the context paint the other side also in the similar way. That is one big mistake we all make. So this is a time to have Gyan. And Gyan is not only what you study in your syllabus or in your classroom. It is something much more than these classrooms and your degrees and diplomas and lectures. And that comes when you question. So anything which you see, which you read, you should question. And I tell my students that the teachers must fear entering the classroom. That is a good class. Because they should be afraid that I don't know what my student is going to ask today. So he has to come fully prepared. So it's not that he prepares something in last night, come in the class, speak for 40 minutes and go away. It shouldn't be. So a student should have the queries. You should have the desire to learn or know more. And when you have a chance, when you find anyone, try to get as much as you can from him or her. That's the way we can have Gyan. And then the parampara which we had, because we had this parampara. If you talk about Nachiketa, if you talk about Prahalad, they even didn't fear about their life. They wanted to know something. They were curious and they asked. So they were the young child. That is what the Indian tradition is. So we should have deep desire to have a Gyan. And that's the ultimate objective of the life of any human beings. And it is the Gyan which makes us different from the animals. So, Dharma, Vidya, and Gyan. That is what we should have, we should follow. So with this, I once again thank Shashan Jain College for organizing this wonderful meet. It was a great occasion to meet many scholars, to students, and to enrich my knowledge, listening all of them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We now proceed to the feedback session. I invite the participants to share their feedback.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Shrutika Balaji, 11th grade student from APR Global School. And thank you very much for the opportunity to present my small testimony here. On 23rd yesterday, this conference began on a great auspicious note. With the presence of Divine, we've come almost to the end of the conference on a great success. Well, one thing I would like to say is that myself, all the students here and the scholars, it's a great privilege and an opportunity to listen to all the wonderful experiences of the doctors and the professors who had presented on this dais over here. And that this national seminar has been a platform for collaboration of so many topics. As Ramadevi ma'am had mentioned in the concept note, concepts such as archaeology, epigraphy, today about technology, and even smaller aspects like finance, health, and textile, all these aspects have been covered in this conference. And generally, when we look at seminars, it's very oriented towards one particular topic, but here it was about our history, our culture, and our Indian knowledge throughout these generations. And yeah, it has been a place for all like-minded people to collaborate with each other, to share thoughts, and to look forward in more future works and future developments. And all the members and staffs and teachers who've been working relentlessly for like the past months to bring this to a great success, I would like to express my gratitude and thanks to all of them. All the students who were introducing everyone, who was comparing towards the throughout the 2 days, the student who had moved through our slides and made sure we had minimal technical glitches, the students who ensured we had video and photography throughout the 2 days, all the teachers, Srividya ma'am and Ramadevi ma'am, who guided all the students for the past so many months to make this event a grand success. Thanks to all of them. And yeah, lastly, I would say that we've seen a grand success over the last 2 days, and I hope to come back for the next conference with even more bigger and more successful conference. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am from Gokul, from Madras University, in Ancient History and Archaeology Department. First of all, I would thank to ICHR and Shashan Jain College for organizing such a great seminar on this platform. I don't know what to say as feedback, but long before, we all students were worried about and bored about our classes, and we need some seminars like this only. Like we are really feeling good after this great sessions. We have discussed a lot about from the Harappan tradition, and we came to the Kanchipuram tradition. Like we almost covered all the things like epigraphy, and and also we also touched some of aspects in prehistory, tool technology, and so. So actually, before what we felt that we are students are worried about that we don't have any good seminars on the past few months. But now we are attending such a great seminar, but here so many seats are all empty. That's why I am worried about this, because some people are here like they want to enrich their knowledge, but still the spaces are empty. So hereafter it should done in a good way to reach all the students in the region, and yeah, that's what I said. Anything else? Thank you.
Good evening, dear participants, dignitaries on the dais and the scholars. Yes, it's a remarkable, a seminar of different sort, I should say, as many of the students also expressed, the participants. A wide range, gamut of subjects that were touched upon, right from Harappan, as they mentioned, the recent Kanjipuram, or whatever, that from epigraphy to archaeology, various subjects have been dealt in these 2 days. Personal counts, I should say, I should personally thank Professor Ramadevi and Madam also. When are you reaching, sir? How, at every moment I also updated them my coming, and they were concerned, and the way the courtesies were extended were really remarkable. We had a wonderful hospitality, the accommodation and the food. I love this, this is a second visit here. I came earlier for a workshop. Have very different, it sets a very different high standard how it should be, and they are following very good principle here. And our ADG, Tripathi sir, Professor Tripathi ji, is here, normally too busy, amidst his very busy schedule. That's how a professor, real professor, very enlightening, for the students. The talk which he delivered are really highly inspiring, motivating. I think each in letter and spirit, our students should pick up what he has given to us. So I profusely thank the authorities, as many expressed. This should be a periodical thing every year, such for some more days also. It can be thematic. And even I would like to thank the Directorate Epigraphy for putting up a wonderful exhibition. So it's good, under the cultural awareness, what they have created and doing is really great. I am thankful to the Directorate Mysore and the Chennai Deputy also office for taking this initiative and put up a wonderful exhibition. So yes, as an epigraphist, I feel more the thrust should be given. It should be taken to different level. That's happening. And I wish some more such seminars should be conducted. With this, I thank for giving me an opportunity to share a few words. Thank you very much.
I now invite Dr. Ramadevi Shekhar ma'am, Director, Center of Excellence Art and Culture, to express our collective gratitude through the vote of thanks.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, dear scholars, my dear students, esteemed guests, and members of the press, on behalf of the organizing committee, I am honored to deliver the vote of thanks to the conclusion of this remarkable seminar for 2 days on the theme Revitalizing Indian Knowledge System, Bridging History and Technology. First and foremost, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to Indian Council of Historical Research for their invaluable support and the sponsorship for this event. Without them, we could have not done this. Their continued commitment to fostering historical research and promoting knowledge systems has been driving force behind the success of this seminar. We are deeply grateful and to our esteemed speakers, first and foremost, Padma Shri Awardee, Dr. K.K. Mohammed ji, Dr. Muniratnam ji, Director of Epigraphy, Dr. Alok Tripathi ji, ADG of ASI, and Madam Dr. Nandita Krishna, CPR Center Director. I know that I have really bothered them many times by inviting them. Amidst their busy schedule and the health condition, ma'am is here. And very thanks to Dr. Ravi Shankar ji, Dr. Suraj Pandit ji, and the scholars from CPIR Institute and Sharma Institute, Dr. Shanti Papu ma'am and the team, and the epigraphy branch of the ASI department. I'm very, very thankful for them to organize such a short notice, a wonderful exhibition. Please, all of you should go and visit. So their collective expertise has greatly enriched our understanding of how history, technology, and Indian knowledge system has been integrated and revitalized. Their contribution to this seminar have sparked meaningful discussion that will resonate long after today. The seminar witnessed 20 plus outstanding paper presentation. The Madras University professor, Dr. K. Ramakrishna Rao was there. So he was there for the 2 days, throughout the 2 days. And the scholars hailing from diverse academic backgrounds covering a wide range of topics. Each paper brought a fresh perspective which deepened our understanding of India's rich intellectual legacy. We extend our sincere appreciation to all the paper presenters for their dedication and hard work in contributing to the success of this seminar. I would also like to express my gratitude to the students who participated in this event. Your enthusiasm, keen interest, and engagement in the sessions have been truly inspiring. The depth of knowledge you demonstrated through your thoughtful, some of the discussions have enriched this seminar further. We are thankful to the press and media for their extensive coverage and for bringing the essence of the seminar to the wider audience. The role in disseminating the knowledge and fostering the deeper understanding of the importance of our cultural heritage cannot be overstated. A special thanks to our management, college management headed by Dr. Padmavati, principal of the college, and vice principal Dr. S. Rukmani, and our Honorable Secretary General, Shri Abhay Kumar sir, Shrimal sir, and Madam Secretary, Srimati Usha Abhay Kumar, and our Associate Secretary, Dr. Harish L. Mehta. Sir is not well, actually, that is why they couldn't participate, and also management, our principal, because of, he came here and suddenly he had chest pain. So that is why they couldn't attend the program. A special thanks to the college management for supporting and extending their throughout the seminar. The inaugural part, all of them, they have attended. Many thanks to them. As we conclude the seminar, let us carry forward the Indian knowledge system as rightly pointed out by ADG sir. So the Vibhag of the ASI is rightly called as Pura Tattva Vibhag. So always there is a saying from Kalidasa I would like to quote. Puranam ityevana sadhu sarvam. So we should not think that all the Puranam are very old, like ancient. That is not for us. And whatever is modern, it is not right. Aptly he has said. And the education is sa vidya ya amritatvam. So the knowledge is rightly said in the, because I'm a Sanskrit student, so I have to quote a few of the Sanskrit. So thank you once again for each one of you for your participation, support, and contribution. Last but not least, our IT support team and the photography team comprises of Mr. Nirmal Raj and Uma Maheshwari. Thank you so much. Thank you. And last but not least, I pray to the God for the success of this seminar. Thank you.
National Anthem.
जनगण मन अतिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you all. Tea is served. So we'll now have the photograph session.